From Studio 1A in Tampa, Florida, comes a talk show that really feels your pain and tells you like it is. We love America and all that freedom-loving Americans want to protect. Live from coast to coast and on your radio, it's For the People with Keith Allen.
We'll help you survive this thing called life. We're for the people. Whatever your source of stress or strife, for the people is there.
Hello, Mr. and Mrs. America. I am Keith Allen and proudly welcoming you to this Friday's edition of For the People on an October the 6th, 2017. And by the way, if you don't get both hours of the show, don't feel bad. You can always log on to forthepeopleshow.com if you don't get hours 1 and 2, if you just get 1 hour. Or, you know, you're listening to the radio station and you say to yourself, I can only listen for about 20 minutes. Love the show. You got me hooked. I wish I could listen to more. Well, listen to the radio station as much as you can. But you can always get the refeed at forthepeopleshow.com, and it's 2 hours every single day there. But the gold standard, man, for talk radio, if you are an enthusiast and like to learn and like a good dose of common sense here at For the People, the radio shows always sound better on the radio. I don't know what it is. It's just, it's special. And to me, I always call radio the gold standard. You're on an AM station, FM station. It's just, there's something still, to me, something magical about radio. I just think it's just a beautiful, it works. I mean, we got CDs and MP3s that we play in our cars. We got satellite radio, but AM and FM radio, I think, will always have a place. They said they were going to do away with it. They weren't going to put it in the cars anymore. They're still making cars with the AM and FM radios. It's still there. You might have Bluetooth, but it's there. And, you know, it's amazing. A lot more people are turning to talk radio than ever before. And at one point, a couple years ago, and I'll have to check into this, but it was one of the fastest growing formats on the radio. Bar any format, talk radio was growing. People are listening. People want answers. They want discussion. More than anything, they want intelligent conversation, intelligent talk. And I mean, if you're going to turn on the radio, don't you think that the least that somebody could do that's doing a program, they could at least provide that service, that companionship, something to help you throughout the day without a bunch of crap. And if you want to listen to a morning show and you can laugh your butt off and listen to some music, that's cool. There's plenty of that. That's always fun, too. But for me, talk radio has always been interesting, and I've been around talk radio my whole life. I listened to talk radio when I was a kid in New York City, and, man, we had some good talk stations. And I ended up working for one when I was 16 years old in New York City on 57th and 7th Avenue, down from the mayor of New York, Mayor de Blasio, wants to take the Columbus Circle statue down and all that good stuff. We'll be talking about that this hour, along with other cities and just what that's reaping already and the expense and et cetera. But anyway, it rubbed off on me. And so I appreciate you tuning in, taking some time out of your day to listen. And by the way, we do have these brand new coffee mugs, and I'm going to be talking about them for some time because we've never offered our own here at For the People. I had to take over the show from Chuck, who used to host this show for, decades, and just 3 years ago, and he's not on the radio any longer, and so he asked me to take over the show. But, you know, we have some coffee mugs left that say Chuck Harder, and, you know, Chuck was right about this, GAD and NAFTA and all these things here, and my name's not on there. And so I had to make the show my own, and it has to have its own identity. So we finally did, and linked up with a company that they ship it off. They make the cups, and you can buy them from us. And they turn around, they make these things beautifully. It's a big 11-ounce coffee mug. It's white with red, white, and blue, For the People on a flag with our logo, and you can see it for yourself at forthepeopleshow.com. It's $20. So with $3 shipping and handling, so it's far below what some other major talk show hosts put it out there for close to $30 with shipping and handling. So this is like $23 and some change. And you got the whole kip and caboodle right to your door, and it'll be shipped right so it doesn't end up broken. I didn't want to have the, responsibility and the hassle that goes along with that, because when you ship those things, you got to do it right. I don't know what it is, but they hurl these boxes. My brother works for UPS, and you think that they're going to be gentle. Remember when you'd put the gentle, handle with care? That's what it was. Handle with care on the boxes. You think they handle with care? You ever look outside your window on an airplane and see how they heave these suitcases in, your bags? You wonder why they got all this brand new luggage. And this has happened to me so many times. Don't spend a bunch of money on luggage, folks. Even if you can afford it, don't do it. Don't do it. Unless you're carry on, but even that, somebody's trying to squeeze their bag in over yours and they end up scratching it, marking it, staining it with some other color of some other suitcase. Don't do it. But the bottom line is, have somebody that knows how to really pack those bad boys. And long story short, you're going to get it in one piece. And for whatever reason, it's like one in so many thousands, you get it broken, they'll send one right back to you. We'll make sure of it. But they're experts in this. They do this all the time. They certainly don't want it back. But you'll love your coffee mug. I love mine. And I know that you'll love yours. And it's a great way, again, to keep For the People going strong. And on a Friday, we got something to talk about today. We got several things. One of them is the calm before the storm, some audio that's got some people freaked out. Trump said this yesterday, and without me kind of reading it, I have the soundbite. Let's go ahead and listen to the president.
You guys know what this represents? Well, the calm before the storm.
What's the storm?
Could be the calm before the storm.
What storm is
We have the world's great military people in this room. I will tell you that. And we're going to have a great evening. Thank you all for coming.
All right, the calm before the storm.
What storm, Mr. President?
You'll find out.
Give us a hint on your end.
Thank you, everybody.
They are all riled up. What storm is that, President? With the calm before the storm. I mean, it's kind of ominous. I mean, what storm is Mr. President? There's something we need to know. I mean, Donald Trump's known to drop some bombs like this verbally. And I don't think we should get too bent out of shape or misinterpreted. But it could mean a lot of things. Something's going to kick off. Don't be surprised. When it happens, I told you. Was there an ominous meaning to this? You'll find out. Trump said that he expected that the Pentagon brass in the room to offer him a broad range of military options when needed at a much faster pace. Multiple reports coming in, though, have suggested that the White House next week will effectively scrap the Iranian nuclear deal signed by the Obama administration in 2015. Very speculated, so I don't know if there's something there, and that maybe our concentration is going to be more on Iran, because these people are menaces and threats too. And as my first hour is saying, that they've been helping and assisting and colluding with North Korea. And we must include the Chinese, because some of the guidance systems and the Russians, that those rocket engines that allow Kim Jong-un to get off the ground are Russian. Did you know that? Russian. So we got fronts. We got some problems all over the place. It's amazing. But what does it mean? Trump, who earlier said Iran had not lived up to the spirit of the nuclear deal, was expected to pretty much come out and rewrite it, denounce it, He says it's a very controversial accord. And he said this on the campaign stump, so it's not a surprise. And I'm certain if he does this, he's got to have some proof that these people can't be trusted. And for many, we weren't letting the IAEA in to be able to properly inspect, and they've been keeping inspectors out of several different sites. So that's against the treaty. It's against it altogether. They weren't supposed to do this. So is it against North Korea? Is it the Iranian deal? You know, the Iranian regime, folks, no surprise, you know this already, supports terrorism and exports violence and chaos across the Middle East. Trump echoing this yesterday during a meeting, adding that Iran should never get a hold of nuclear weapons. That is why we must put an end to Iran's continued aggression and nuclear ambitions. You will be hearing about Iran very shortly, he added. At the same time, North Korea continues to develop its nuclear weapons program, posing a threat to its immediate neighbors and to the U.S., which it has tormented with defiant rhetoric. Trump recently threatened to totally destroy the rogue country if it attacks the U.S. or its allies. And at the end of the meeting yesterday, Trump, he reiterated and basically said that he has military options. And then he used this ominous, here it is again. Listen to it very carefully.
You guys know what this represents? Well, the calm before the storm.
What's for storming?
Could be the calm before the storm.
All right. I got to shut it off. That was a little creepy. I love Donald Trump, but how he said it was a little, I don't know. And maybe it was designed to be that way. I don't think he just loosely said what he said and how he said it. It gave me the creeps, gave me a shiver down my spine. This is the calm before the storm. You know, I mean, watch out. And maybe this is what he's doing to his enemies. This is, telling them, keeping them on their heels. Wow, what is he going to do? Is something happening? Keeping them on guard, never not knowing what his next move is going to be. It's so unlike Obama, so unlike so many other presidents. This one, they don't know exactly how he's going to move, where he's going to move. He's keeping all these diplomats scratching their heads at the embassies, trying to explain back to their leaders exactly what is Donald Trump doing? What is he doing? They're trying to, they can't figure it out. And I think it's brilliant. I think this is Trump brilliance from Trump University. I think he's practicing what they were preaching over there. I think it's smart. I think it's good stuff. I think the guy thinks out of the box, and I think we have to think out of the box, as individuals, to be able to shake it up a little bit. And I think it's a good thing. And in business, sometimes you have to do that. I think, again, as a business guy that's had to shake things up for so many years, recreating, businesses or doing business differently because things change, the ways of doing things, and et cetera, I think it's the same thing. Because if things, you got to admit, things haven't been working too well. Diplomatic channels haven't been, the way the status quo hasn't worked. These people continue getting emboldened and snubbing us and threatening us. And despite any agreement that was made, which they just didn't even take it seriously, apparently, still doing what they were told not to do. Donald Trump's like, you know what? Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to drop something here. See how they handle it. But it just seems like every time that Trump says something to this degree, you're going to get the paranoid Kim Jong-un. He's probably going to launch something. Iran's probably on the back channel saying, hey, get ready to cook one up. Just to